Level 1, the Grassroots coach. You're 26 years old and your son's Sunday league team needs a coach. Nobody else volunteers. You played 5-a-side twice a week and watched Match of the Day religiously. That's your entire coaching resume. You turn up to your first session with 11 8-year-olds and a bag of cones. You have no idea what you're doing. You run the same 3 drills you remember from your own childhood. Half the kids aren't listening. One is crying. Another is eating grass. You shout instructions during the match and nobody follows a single one of them. You lose 8-0. You lose the next match 7-0. Some of the parents on the touchline are more aggressive than the players on the pitch. One dad screams at his own son for missing a tackle. You have to step in. You go home and watch coaching videos until midnight. Formations, basic positioning, how to actually structure a training session. You start planning your sessions properly. Warm-up, technical work, small-sided games. The kids start improving, slowly, passing instead of chasing the ball in a pack. You win a match for the first time in October. The feeling surprises you. You didn't expect to care this much about 8-year-olds winning a Sunday league game, but you do. You enroll in your first coaching badge that winter, the UEFA C license. 3 weekends, 200 pounds. You realize how much you didn't know. Pressing structures, periodization, player psychology at different age groups. You're hooked. This isn't a hobby anymore. Level 2, the academy coach. 3 years and 2 coaching badges later, a professional club's academy hires you part-time, under 12s, 2 evenings a week plus Sunday matches. 4,000 pounds a year. You keep your day job. The standard here is completely different to Sunday league. These kids can actually play, some of them frighteningly well for their age. You're not just teaching football anymore, you're developing potential future professionals. Every session is analyzed. Every drill has a specific developmental purpose. The club gives you a curriculum, individual player development plans, video analysis software. You spend your evenings after work studying opposition patterns for under 12 matches. Your partner asks if this is really necessary for children. You don't have a good answer, but you keep doing it anyway. You start to understand what it takes to develop a player, not just win a game. Patience, repetition, knowing when to push and when to let a kid figure it out himself. You get your UEFA B license, then you start applying for full-time academy roles. 18 months later, a League One club offers you a full-time position. Under 16s, head coach, 22,000 pounds a year. You quit your day job. Your family thinks you're insane. You've never felt more certain of anything in your life. Level 3, the first team assistant. 5 years in academy coaching and a manager you worked under gets his first senior job. National League, non-league football. He asks you to be his assistant. 30,000 pounds a year. A significant pay rise. A significant jump in pressure. Your first day at the training ground is nothing like academy football. These are grown men. Some are 38 years old with families and mortgages. Some resent taking instructions from a coach younger than them. You learn quickly that man management matters more than tactical knowledge at this level. You run the training sessions. The manager focuses on recruitment and match day decisions. You analyze the opposition every single week. Full video breakdowns on a laptop in a hotel room. The training ground is a public sports center shared with 5-a-side leagues in the evening. The changing room floods when it rains heavily. You do it anyway. You lose your first 6 matches in charge. The manager gets abuse on social media. You start getting tagged in the same posts. Welcome to football. Someone tells you in the car park after a defeat. You laugh. It's not really funny. 3 months later, you turn results around. 10 unbeaten. Promotion push building. You start to believe you could do this job yourself one day. Level 4, the first managerial job. The manager gets poached by a bigger club. He recommends you for his old job. The board interviews you. 31 years old. No senior management experience. They take a chance on you. National League South. 40,000 pounds a year. You are now fully, entirely, completely responsible. Every decision, every result, every headline in the local paper has your name on it. You do everything at this level. You pick the team, you do the tactics, you handle the media, you negotiate contracts with players earning 300 pounds a week. You sometimes drive the kit van yourself when the regular driver is unavailable. Your first match in charge, you lose 2-0 at home. The crowd of 800 boos at full time. You go home and can't sleep. You replay every decision, every substitution, every shape change that didn't work. 3 weeks later, you win 4 in a row. The same fans who booed you are singing your name. You learn how quickly football turns, how little any of it is actually about you as a person. It's about results. Every single week, no exceptions, no excuses. You miss your daughter's school play because of a Tuesday night away game. You tell yourself there will be other plays. There will be, but you'll miss most of them too. By March, you're fighting relegation. By April, you've kept the club up on the final day of the season. The chairman shakes your hand and tells you next season is about promotion. You realize the job never actually gets easier. The target just moves. Level 5, the league manager. 2 promotions in 3 seasons. A League 2 club comes calling. 90,000 pounds a year. Full-time staff. An actual training ground with real facilities. This is professional football now. Properly. You have a fitness coach, a goalkeeping coach, a performance analyst. You still do the media yourself every single week. Post-match interviews where every answer gets picked apart online within the hour. The pressure at this level compounds constantly. You are never more than 8 bad results away from losing your job entirely. Managerial tenure in English football's lower leagues averages under 12 months. Under 12 months. You know this. this. Every manager knows this. Nobody talks about it out loud. You go on a run of 5 defeats in November. Fan forums call for your head. A banner appears at the next home game. You read none of it. Your assistant reads all of it and tells you to stay off social media. You don't listen. You win the next 3 matches and the same banner disappears. Your marriage takes strain you didn't expect. You're home, but you're not present. Your mind is on Saturday's opposition, even at Sunday dinner. Your wife tells you that you've changed since you started managing. You tell her the job requires this level of focus. She's not wrong. Neither are you. Both things can be true at once. You finish the season in the playoffs. You lose the playoff final at Wembley in front of 30,000 fans on penalties. You don't sleep for 4 days. Level 6. The championship manager. Despite the playoff heartbreak, a championship club appoints you that summer. £250,000 a year. You now report to a sporting director. Recruitment decisions are no longer entirely yours. You have opinions on transfer targets. Sometimes they're heard. Sometimes they're overruled. You learn to manage upward as much as you manage downward. The championship is widely regarded as the most physically brutal division in world football. 46 league games. Christmas fixture pileups. No winter break. Your squad is decimated by injuries by February most seasons. You start patching together a defense with a midfielder and a reserve fullback. The media coverage intensifies dramatically at this level. National newspapers, radio phone-ins dissecting your team selection. A well-known pundit questions your tactics on national television after a defeat. You watch the clip. You shouldn't have. You watch it 3 more times. Your chairman calls you into his office in October after 4 straight losses. He doesn't sack you, but the message is unmistakably clear. You have weeks, not months, to turn results around. You change your system. You change your captain. You change your starting 11. You win 5 of the next 6. The chairman never mentions that October conversation again. You finish the season 7th. Playoffs, agonizingly, just missed by 2 points. The chairman calls it progress. You call it another year of your life spent entirely on this club. Level 7. The Premier League manager. Survival. A newly promoted Premier League club needs a manager who's proven he can build resilient teams. They offer you the job. £1.2 million a year. Your family's financial situation changes overnight. Your football life does not get easier. If anything, everything intensifies by a factor you weren't prepared for. Every press conference is broadcast live. Every word is analyzed, clipped, and circulated within minutes. Your training sessions are filmed by helicopter-mounted paparazzi cameras from outside the perimeter fence. You didn't know that was even legal. It is. Your opening day defeat is a 5-0 hammering broadcast to over 600 million people worldwide. 600 million. You read that statistic and feel physically sick. The betting markets have your club as favorites for relegation before September ends. You spend every waking hour on video analysis, recruitment meetings, media duties, fan engagement. You average 4 hours of sleep across a match week. Your assistant manager notices you've lost considerable weight. You haven't noticed. You haven't had time to notice. November arrives and you're bottom of the table. The newspapers run odds on which manager gets sacked first this season. You're named favorite. You see it. You can't not see it. It's everywhere. You call an emergency team meeting. Not tactical, just honest. You tell your players the truth. Fight for each other or we all go down together. Something shifts. You win 3 of the next 4. A minor miracle by the numbers involved. You survive relegation by 4 points on the final day of the season. The chairman calls it the best achievement of his time at the club. You call your wife and cry on the phone for the first time in your management career. Level 8. The established Premier League manager. Survival earns you credibility. Credibility earns you a bigger club within the same league. A mid-table Premier League side with genuine European ambitions appoints you. £3.8 million a year. You now have a genuine transfer budget. Real conversations with real targets. You still don't get everything you ask for. You never do. Your first full transfer window, you sign 4 players. 2 succeed, 2 do not. One of the failures cost the club £28 million. You carry that number with you every single day, it doesn't work out. The scrutiny at this level is genuinely relentless. A dedicated podcast exists purely to analyze your weekly team selections. Fan channels post video breakdowns questioning your substitutions within an hour of full time. You stop reading any of it. You mean it this time. Your family has moved 5 times in 6 years following your career across different clubs. Your children have gone to 4 different schools. They've made friends and lost them repeatedly every time you get a new job. Your eldest asks you why you can't just stay somewhere. You don't have an honest answer that a 12-year-old would understand. The honest answer is that nobody in this profession ever truly stays anywhere. You finish the season 6th. European qualification secured. The board are thrilled. The fans are thrilled. You allow yourself for exactly 1 evening to feel genuinely proud. Level 9. The top 6 manager. A genuine European giant chasing domestic and continental silverware comes for you that summer. £9 million a year. You are now managing global superstars earning more individually than your previous entire squad combined. Every training session is meticulously scrutinized by a football operations department above you. A director of football has final say on every major transfer decision. You have influence. You do not have full control. You never fully will again. Champions League nights become a regular fixture of your calendar now. 60,000 fans, fans, anthem music, global broadcast to over 400 million households. You lose a Champions League quarterfinal on away goals in April. The newspapers call for you to be sacked within 48 hours of elimination. The board back you publicly. Privately, you know that backing has a shelf life. It always does at this level. You win a domestic cup that same season. 60,000 fans inside Wembley. Ticker tape. Genuine, uncomplicated joy for one afternoon. You lift a trophy as a manager for the first time in your career. You think for a brief moment about the Sunday League pitch and the bag of cones. 21 years between that muddy park pitch and this exact moment. Nobody in the stadium knows that story except you. Level 10. The elite manager. 2 league titles and a Champions League semifinal. Later, your reputation is now genuinely global. 16 million pounds a year. Your face is recognized in almost every football-following country on earth. You cannot walk through an airport anywhere in Europe without being stopped for a photograph. The job at this level is barely about coaching anymore. It's about man-managing egos worth hundreds of millions of pounds collectively. It's about political relationships with a club hierarchy who each want something different from you. It's about sports science, data departments, recruitment committees, medical staff, and player welfare teams. You oversee all of it. You are responsible for all of it, regardless of who actually controls it. A superstar striker publicly criticizes your tactics after being substituted early. It's front-page news across 6 countries within hours. You handle it with the same practiced calm you've built over 20 years in this job. Internally, it stings exactly as much as it would have stung at your very first club. You finally win the Champions League in your 4th season at the level. You lift the trophy under fireworks in front of 80,000 fans. It is, without question, the greatest professional night of your entire life. You call your dad from the pitch, still in your suit, champagne soaking through the fabric. He answers on the second ring. He tells you he always knew. You both know that isn't entirely true. Neither of you says that out loud. Level 11. The sacking. It happens on a Monday morning, 18 months after the greatest night of your career. 5 defeats in 7 matches. A poor transfer window. A dressing room that is quietly turned. The chairman calls you into a private meeting before training. He thanks you for everything. He means it. That doesn't change the outcome. You are no longer the club's manager. Effective immediately. This is the job. Every manager gets sacked eventually. Every single one, without exception. The average Premier League managerial tenure is under 2 years. Under 2 years. Even the greatest managers in the history of the sport were eventually shown the door somewhere. You clear out your office in 40 minutes. Photos with your family. A signed shirt from your first professional squad. A pair of boots from a Sunday League player you coached 22 years ago. You kept them the entire time. You don't fully know why. The statement goes out at 11 a.m. thanking you for your service, wishing you well for the future. The same paragraph, almost word for word, every single club uses. You drive home in silence. Your wife is waiting at the door. She already knows. Everyone already knows. News like this travels in minutes now, not hours. You sit in your kitchen and for the first time in 11 years, you have absolutely nothing scheduled tomorrow. It is the strangest feeling you have ever experienced in this profession. Level 12, the elder statesman. 18 months pass. Punditry work, a well-paid but unfulfilling role at a broadcaster. You miss it more than you expected to. The dressing room, the Saturday nerves, all of it. A phone call comes in March. A struggling club, in genuine relegation trouble. They want experience. They want someone who has been sacked before and survived it. You take the job, not for the money. You don't need the money anymore. You take it because you don't know how to be anything except a football manager. You save the club from relegation with 2 matches to spare. The fans chant your name at the final whistle of the final match. You think about retiring after that. You mean it, mostly, when you say it. 2 years later, you take one final job. A smaller club, lower pressure, genuine enjoyment. Your grandson comes to training sometimes now. He's 7. He stands beside you at the touchline with a bag of cones, just like you once did. You watch him organize the other kids into a 5-a-side match at halftime. He shouts instructions nobody follows. He loses that little match 8-0. He doesn't care. He can't stop smiling. You recognize that exact feeling from 28 years earlier. A Sunday League pitch, a bag of cones, no idea what you were doing, just love for the game, and nothing else, driving every single decision. You never fully explain to him what this job actually costs. The marriages it strains, the birthdays it steals, the sleepless nights before every single match, the Mondays after a sacking, when you have nothing scheduled and don't know who you are. He doesn't need to know any of that yet. He just needs to fall in love with it first, the exact same way you did, standing on a muddy pitch with a bag of cones, and absolutely no idea what you were signing up for.